Here it is. Yesterday I did something that has my nerves all up in a tizzy, and today I'm going to be doing something, and I'll explain it in a minute, that has me just full of anxiety because and full of fear, and just because I'll explain in a minute. Okay, so good morning and welcome to Home Wellness with Ann. I have found the ideal spot to vlog at this park, where that one person keeps pestering and nosing around my car when I'm parked far away from everybody else in the corner of the parking lot up against the dumpster. I realized when I was cleaning snow off my car the other day that my back windows in my vehicle are really darkly tinted, whereas the front windows are just slightly tinted, and you can see from the outside right into my car. And so every time this guy's nosing around my car and he can see my tripod with my camera set up in my dashboard, and I get flustered because he's not just minding his own business and going on his walk, and he never just leaves me alone. It never fails. Every time I see this guy at this park, I'm not only going out of my way to park away from everybody else in kind of a private corner of the spot, and there's not really anybody else here. There's maybe one or two, maximum 3 cars at any given time. This guy, who must live in the area because he walks to get to this park, he doesn't drive, he goes out of his way then to walk past my car instead of just leaving me in peace and minding his own business and doing his thing and going on his walk with his dogs and leaving me to do my thing. You can very clearly see after walking past my car once or twice that I'm vlogging, that I've got my camera set up on my tripod in my dashboard in the front seats. I'm not getting up to any shady business. Just leave me alone. Just stay away from my car. I'm parked away from everybody else for a reason. This guy doesn't seem to get that. He constantly, it never fails, go out of his way to leave whatever path that he's walking on to come over by my car, walk past my car, look in my car, and then continue walking. It's like, dude, mind your own business. And I've mentioned this before in videos. It is a big pet peeve of mine. So the other day when I was cleaning snow off my car and I discovered, oh, my back windows are really darkly tinted, and I never noticed that before, which is funny. I know that I don't pay attention to that sort of stuff, but how often am I going to be sitting in my back seat of my own car? Never. So I digress. I'm sitting in the back seat of my car so that I'm not distracted by this dude, so that he can't see in my windows and see what I'm doing. There's a chance, based on the fact that the camera is bright, that he might be able to see a little bit, that I've got my camera going, but he's not going to really be able to see me or what I'm doing. And that's all that matters. I'd rather be incognito. So it hopefully will work this time. I have not seen the guy at the park this morning, but if you see someone walking in the background in this video, chances are it's this dude. Especially if you see him walking towards my car in the background and I don't happen to notice it right at the moment. So today's video, this is not what this video is about today, and I'm already a couple minutes in, and I did something yesterday that I have actually been thinking about doing and wanting to do for months, and have not actually done it because I keep using the excuse that I don't want to spend the money and blah, 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 blah. But I'll explain in a minute. I am the queen of excuses when it comes to sticking with a workout regimen. I just wonder, to a certain extent, how many people who grow up in a controlling home deal with addictions. In this particular case, I'm talking about food addictions. And if you were raised in that kind of environment, a home that was very controlling and where you did not have a lot of personal autonomy, coinciding with that, developing, I think it's very common, and I wonder if others have the same issue, where they develop then in adulthood the inability to self-regulate, an inability to a lack of self-control, for lack of a better word or phrase. Like, you go through life and there's certain areas of your life you can control, but other areas of your life, maybe very, very private areas of your life, that you just throw caution to the wind, give up on, very, lackluster about, and very lazy about, and very resigned about, because you have been raised to believe or have developed habits that prevent you from realizing that you have the control over this thing, this crutch, this weakness in your life. Now, I don't know how true this is for others. I have been exploring it for myself because I think there's something to it. I have done a lot of introspection about my own inability to stay fit. And physical health is definitely connected, and it's part of that whole wellness that we talk about in this channel. Why I called this channel Whole Wellness is because when we're talking about being healthy in general, overall, we're not just limited, and we shouldn't limit ourselves or restrict ourselves to just mental wellness, mental wealth. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to edit that part out because that's, and for you guys, you know what I mean? I'm trying to say mental wellness, mental health. Anyway, it should also include in my opinion, our focus on being healthy should also include emotional health, spiritual health, which I've touched on quite a bit in this channel, but also, which I have not touched on very much in this channel yet, and that's primarily because I've been studying and researching internally and introspectively, what is it about me that fails in this area of physical health so greatly throughout my life. I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and I say struggled meaning I've been obese almost my entire life. I really started putting the pounds on in high school and then in college. But then my sophomore year in college, I think I mentioned this in the abuse series, I felt so much like a failure that I just felt deep down inside like I needed to do something drastic to feel not like a failure. And so I joined the college track team, and even though it was very good for me because it kept me on a schedule, it kept me committed, it made me, I succeeded in that area of my college life. I started out not being a very good athlete and then learning that I could do it. And so it was very empowering for me. Whereas before I was pretty much a complete failure when it came to athletics. I have never been an athlete. I'm not a competitor. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And so this is one thing about being raised in the home that I was raised in. My dad swore up and down all his kids were going to be athletes, and he tried to make athletes out of all of us and failed miserably with me. And it disappointed him greatly. This is one of those things about being a scapegoated child versus the forgotten child. My sister, on the other hand, she was never an athlete either, and yet it was excused with her. They didn't care. They never noticed. My dad, my parents, my family, all four of my brothers played football, wrestled. They were beefcakes and stuff like that. I, however, apparently was expected to be an athlete, but I wasn't born an athlete. I wasn't born a competitor. I wasn't born to enjoy fitness. However, I have become an adult now that I've gotten away from it, an adult who enjoys fitness, not competition, but fitness. I enjoy bike riding. I love hiking and walking and anything outdoors pretty much. But I will do pretty much anything, tennis, swimming, you name it. There's pretty much no limit to what I will do outside. I love the outdoors. I'm not intimidated at the beach. I'll throw on a swimsuit, but I am obese. Okay. So I'm about 100 pounds overweight for my body type. I am large boned. My hands are huge. I wear a women's size 11. shoe, a men's size 10.5 and running shoes. And I'm 5'11", and I weigh just about 300 pounds. Yesterday, and this is what I have such anxiety about, this is what I did yesterday. I finally just went to my gym, which I let my membership lapse in December of 2020, and I'll explain that in a minute. And so it's been a full 3 years since I have been to the gym. Now, that's not to say I haven't been working out or doing any exercise or any fitness. I probably would have packed on the pounds a lot faster the last 3 years had I not done any activity and just stopped going to the gym. But I think I left the gym when I weighed about 276. So I've put on roughly 20 pounds, give or take 5. But I'm not 100% sure about my weight right now. I have to weigh myself this weekend, and I never weigh myself throughout the week. Well, I do, but I try to only register, and I keep a log of my weight. I've been keeping my log of weight since 2017. And when I weigh myself, it's on Sunday mornings. I weigh myself at the same time on the same day of the week so that I maintain some sort of consistent record of my weight, but I haven't weighed myself in probably 2 months. In fact, now that I think about it, when I get a chance and I'm editing this video, I'll check my weight on Sunday and make sure that I put that in this video here so that I'm providing you an accurate weight of where I'm at. Now, with that said, last time I weighed myself, which was a couple months ago, my scale did not register my weight because I think my scale, which is digital, caps at 300. And that's why I'm pretty sure I'm right around 300 right now. Because I was previously, prior to that, like 292. And I couldn't imagine for the life of me that I had gained that much weight in that amount of time. However, it's possible, that, which is why I want to weigh myself. If I get to the point where I weigh myself on Sunday morning and I find that my scale still cannot register my weight, then I will put a note in here that says I am just over 300 pounds. And when I get to 300 pounds, I will vlog that and make sure I let you know what my trend is, how I'm going, because I don't have a scale that registers over 300 pounds. So, and I don't know how long it'll take me. If I'm over 300 pounds right now, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to 300 pounds. I suppose it depends on how over the 300 that I am. Anyway, I had let my membership lapse I actually canceled my membership in December of 2020 after several months of COVID had the gym shut down and all these restrictions were in place and they had funky hours and limited number of people in the gym at any given time and social distancing, and they had the equipment spread out and it was really weird, but it's a small gym anyway in the first place. And also we didn't know then what we know now about COVID. So the first couple of months of COVID, I was terrified to even go to the gym. So, and then I used it as an excuse. This is the part where I need to come clean about being the queen of excuses when it comes to going to the gym. Now, first of all, let me just say, I love going to the gym. I love the feeling of leaving the gym on a high. Like I got a really good workout when you're sweating and you're out of breath and you're hungry and you need some protein, and I love that feeling. And I was in that place years ago. Prior to moving back to my home state, I had been working out at a gym that's the part of the franchise of UFit Fitness. And that gym was huge and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I worked out there for probably 3 years, maybe 2 years. And the gym that I joined now is Anytime Fitness. And so I have found that they're very similar, but this gym is much smaller. And I've tried actually other gyms in the area, and I don't like any gym as much as I like Anytime Fitness. And Anytime Fitness reminds me a lot of UFit. I love these gyms. They're clean. People are very fitness oriented. They're not just a bunch of beefcakes. They're very welcoming. They're all ages, all groups, all sizes, all ethnicities. It's just a very good mix of people. I know that when I'm working out and doing well and not falling off the wagon with my fitness, that I feel very good going to the gym. I feel very accomplished when I'm able to set the next bar and increase my weights in any given exercise. I feel so good about myself. I got to the point in my fitness routine where I was doing curls, and I had increased my upper body weights from in like a year, I think, which seems like a lot, but for me, I have very little upper body weight, and I got to this point where I was using 25-pound dumbbells, which is unheard of. 25-pound dumbbells for a woman who is in her 40s, now 50. At the time I was in my 40s, and I got to this point where, and who's very weak in the upper body, to be able to get to the point where you're lifting 25 pounds, well, actually wound up being 50 pounds because they were 25-pound dumbbells each. And so I felt really good about that. And I was strong and I was fit. And I love that feeling. I have no problem going to the gym because I absolutely love that feeling, and I'm not intimidated being at the gym. But this is the problem with me. I've mentioned in a prior video how I've put into place practices for my eating that are much better than I've ever had in my life. I don't snack like I used to at work. I use Splenda instead of sugar in my coffee. I drink a lot of water throughout the course of every day. I don't drink pop or soda much at all. I used to have at least 2 sodas a day. I don't know to what extent the self-control or lack of self-control and the lack of discipline really, and maybe this is why my dad pushed me to become an athlete. I don't know if he had given me a little bit of encouragement and had a little faith in me, I probably would have developed, I imagine, a little bit more discipline and self-control over this area of my life. But as it is, I fail miserably on a regular basis and I binge eat. But it used to be that I would have 2 or 3 Mountain Dews a day, and now I have pop or soda probably about 2 or 3 times a week. And usually what I've been trying to do, because I've cut back my sugar so much, and when I drink regular pop, I notice how sweet it is, how sickeningly sweet it is. So what me and my husband and my kids have been doing is we've been mixing cocktails and we usually mix a regular soda with club soda to cut the calories. And then maybe sometimes we'll use juice, like I'll use limeade, the Simply Limeade, which is really good with the pulp. And I'll mix it with club soda and Diet Squirt. And that makes a delicious, refreshing beverage, let me tell you, for virgin drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. But these days, my whole point being, I'm doing so much more than I've ever done in regards specifically to the eating and the consumption of food. I'm making sure that I get protein. I'm making sure that I get vegetables. I'm making sure that I'm getting fruit. I don't snack so much on chips anymore, even though I love chips. When I feel like something's salty and crunchy, I try to go for peanuts, and I have a handful of peanuts instead of chips. There's just various things that I've tried to implement, changes, little changes, one at a time. And the chips thing is the most recent thing. Things that I've tried to implement in my life, little things, one at a time, every couple of months over the last few years, to try to change the eating thing. And it's been successful. Like, my consumption of food, what I consume and how I consume it, has changed a great deal. I don't snack as much at night. My biggest problem area in the past has been snacking, both at work and at nighttime. And I have worked very hard on that. Not to say that it's flawless or I'm doing a phenomenal job, but I've improved. Let's put it that way. Because it used to be every single night or every other night. And now I might have a dessert or a snack, but I usually try to have it before 7 p.m. or, not at 10 o'clock at night or right before I go to bed. I'm mindful of the time and the quantity and the type of foods I consume, things like that. That's my whole point about that. Now the struggle is getting back to the physical fitness. Like I mentioned, it's been a couple of years since I've done any concerted effort. Any fitness that I've done has been outside, casual, leisurely, outdoors, bike rides and walks and things like that. But I cannot stand these short days of winter in the northern hemisphere where I live. It is dark. On a cloudy day, it feels like it's 7 p.m. at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I hate it. I hate it. I have a sun lamp at my desk. My husband and I bought a sun floor lamp for our home just to have enough energy to get through the day. It is like hibernation mode, and I don't like it. I want to move. I want to do things. I want to get outside. And that to me is physical therapy, in my opinion. And I miss it so much. My husband and so many others will go out in the snow and exercise in the snow. I hate being cold. My husband is fine with taking walks in the snow. He walks the dog in the snow. He doesn't like the cold, but he'll walk at night with the dog. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Number one, I can't stand being in the dark. I can't see the sky, the clouds, the sun. I can't see anything. I can't see the trees, the bugs, whatever, the birds. So I can't see a thing. The headlights of cars passing wherever I'm walking drives me nuts. It blinds me. And second of all, I can't stand the snow and the cold. So not only is it dark when I get out of work, it's also cold and snowy. So I can't see where I'm walking. Slipping on the ice or in the snow is a concern of mine. I'm 100% confident that I will fall and injure myself seriously if I continue to try walking in the pitch black in the middle of winter. It's not enjoyable to me, so I'm not going to want to do it. And this is what I've run into. This is the problem. This is what I see happening. And I'm like, oh, I should just go on a walk. I should just go on a walk. I should, blah, blah. But it's dark. It's cold. It's slippery. I'm not getting a real workout this way. And so inevitably, every time I go, nope, I don't want to do it. Nope, I want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I don't. So I don't do it. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it, which is how I discovered bike riding. I got into biking when my husband and I lived in Florida years ago and all the roads were flat. And we had this rickety old bike in the garage that we bought from when we bought our first house there. And I started out thinking that I had gone 6 miles on this bike when I had only gone 3/4 of a mile. And this is prior to me really hitting the fitness thing hard and joining a gym. But that's how I got into biking. And the only reason I stuck with it is because the roads were flat. I developed a love for bicycling. I absolutely love it. Not mountain biking, not racing, but I love road biking. And so I have a belief that if you find something you love, and this is what the fitness professionals say too, and I believe it, I stuck with it. This is the only way I've stuck with a fitness routine is because I have found that what I love. I love to hike, I love to walk, I love to swim, I love to bike, and I really do enjoy the gym. I like to have a program and I love the feeling of being with other fitness-minded individuals. But when I let my gym membership lapse in December of 2020, I say let my membership lapse. This is what I mean, though. I'm the queen of excuses. I believe at that time I used COVID and the restrictions and all of that as an excuse yet again, as I do every other time I'm too tired. I had a stressful day at work. I worked out yesterday. I don't need to today, blah, blah, blah. I've got this to do. I've got that to do. Not to work out. And I used the excuse of COVID as yet another reason to cancel my membership and stop working out and not go to the gym. and used the money excuse, as I mentioned earlier. This is what I was talking about when I said I'll explain it in a moment. I'm the queen of excuses. And I also would say, oh, well, not only are the COVID restrictions, because of COVID, I should cancel my gym membership, but it also costs money, and we should probably save money right now. But get this, through my insurance, I get a discount at my local gym, and it costs me a measly $28 a month for this membership. I kid you not, that is about the cheapest you can get anywhere for a gym membership, is $28 a month. That means basically I only have to go 4 times a month and the membership's paid for itself. Because when you factor in the daily fee, the daily pass fee that they charge, that's really what it boils down to, $7 a day, which I think is not just reasonable, but it's actually a foolish excuse that I used to cancel my membership last time and wait 3 years to renew it or reactivate it. It has been foolish for me to use that as an excuse not to retain this membership. This is preventative care. I don't know why more insurance companies don't do this. Give discounts to people for working out at the gym. I personally think it's preventative, and it's true. It's been proven that fitness not only helps prevent development of diseases and certain conditions, but it will reverse existing conditions. So I did this yesterday. I joined the gym. I reactivated my membership. I paid up, and I was freaking out about it. And I couldn't figure out why I was freaking out. And now that a little bit of time has passed, 24 hours, it's kind of come to me that the reason I'm freaking out is because I don't have the discipline, and I know my weakness in that I lack self-control. And I know my weakness in making excuses. I know these weaknesses about myself, and I know that the lack of discipline is going to inhibit me. And I have a tremendous fear of failure. I have a tremendous fear of looking in the mirror a month from now and saying, my gosh, Ann, you only went to the gym 3 times this month. What's wrong with you? You signed up for your gym membership. You should have taken advantage of it. You had these big goals and these lofty aspirations. What's wrong with you? And basically looking at myself in the mirror and saying to myself, you did it again. You screwed up. You failed. And basically that verbiage again that we told ourselves as kids coming out of childhood or after our abuse, saying we're big fat losers, that negative self-talk that we were taught, that we weren't good enough, that we didn't deserve to be valued. I probably am going to have additional thoughts about this, but for the time being, I wanted to at least vlog this, that I did the membership, that I reactivated it, and today after work was day 1 of going. I'm going to probably try to, at the end of this video, put in some images of myself. If I can find them, images from way back in 2017, images from me in 2020 when I initially let my gym membership, and then some images from 2020 when I first canceled my membership. And then hopefully if I can find some good images of me from now recently as I rejoin, and then just so you can kind of join and see the progress, join me in my journey, this new journey to physical wellness, which is just another pillar of whole health. So thanks for tuning in. I'm so nervous. This is one of those videos where I can't say I'm necessarily excited. I'm nervous about failing. It's something I really want, something I've wanted my entire life, something I've tried to do so many times. And I literally want to be fit, flexible, strong, capable. And I really would like to lose 100 pounds if possible, because for being my bone size and 5'11", the ideal weight for a woman my size is 180. And if I'm 300 pounds, I think with my curves, 200 pounds is a pretty reasonable goal. But that's 100 pounds. That's a lot of weight, you know? Can I do it? That's the question. Can I do it? Do I believe I can do it? I don't know. At this point in time, there's a part of me that's like, well, of course I can do it. But then there's this other part of me that's like, no, nah. Yeah, it's never worked before. Why would it work now? But I'm approaching it this time from the perspective of a person that is striving to not just be physically fit and healthy, but also has come so far in her mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and is striving from inside out to be a healthy person. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.